Hello guys, welcome to this 3D Blast tutorial. My name is Carlos Sosa. I'm a 3D artist from Quito, Ecuador. You can check out my work at www.carlossosa3d.com or at my social media at carlossosa3d. So what we're going to be using today is we're going to be learning how to use displacement maps in Blender. And the main things we're going to be covering is the difference between normal maps and displacement maps, how to use the displacement maps in Blender, and of course what can you create using displacement maps. I'm going to show you an image I did a while ago, and this is just using displacement maps, okay? Only textures, but with displacement maps, and you can create all sorts of things. So let's just dive into Blender right now. Make sure you're working on cycles. Just gonna delete this light and add a plane. We're gonna just make a simple lighting. I'm going to create a material, gonna name it light, and this is going to be an emission. Okay, and I'm going to make sure my world is on 0, so I don't have any global illumination with the world settings. And if I just preview this, you're going to see that okay, I have my cube and it has some light. Second step, we're going to download some textures that we can use. So we're just going to go to, let me find my, there it is. We're just going to go to Polyhaven. It's polyhaven.com. It's an amazing materials and model resource for Blender users and 3D users. We're just going to go to textures, and we're going to find a texture that has a lot of differences, like rocks on stones or something like these ones. You can use whichever, but I'm gonna go with this rock boulder cracked. I already downloaded, so you can just click on download. You can choose also the definition you want, and once you download it, let me show you. Here it is. I already packed it. I already unpacked it. It also comes with a Blender file. Okay, this one comes with all the textures already connected, but we're just gonna do it from scratch. You can see you have the diffuse or albedo. You have the displacement, which we're going to be using, and you have the normal and the roughness. Okay, so let's start with our diffuse map. Let's go to Blender, and let's go to our shading tab. Yeah, that's fine. And we're just going to bring in our diffuse. I'm going to connect it. And if I just render these, I can see these already have the texture. I want to change the size, so make sure you enable your on your add-ons, make sure you enable your node wrangler. You just type node, and then here is node wrangler, because that's going to help you working with all these nodes. And if I press Ctrl T, that's when the add-on is going to work, because it's going to give me all these mapping nodes, so I can work with the scale. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger, maybe 3. Yeah, we can change that later, but yeah, you see the texture is working. Let's just start bringing all the rest of the textures. Let's bring our roughness. I'm gonna, with Control Tab, with Control Spacebar, I'm just gonna make this bigger so you can see. I'm gonna connect it here also. This one is non-color, and I'm just gonna connect it onto the roughness. Okay, this one is gonna work with the shyness of the material. So there you see. Control Shift click so I can see what it's doing. Everything looks kind of just white, so it doesn't. That means it doesn't have much reflection, which is good for a rock. Let's just take now our normal map. Same thing. I'm just gonna plug it here. This is a non-color texture, very important, and we're just gonna put a vector, a normal map. so we can control this. And I'm going to plug it into normal. And now you can see all these cracks and all these detail. Bring it a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. All this detail is going to start to show. You see, the texture is starting to look more realistic. But of course, the problem is that even though this is kind of like faking the texture, if I go close, you see, oh, I can see all like the cracks and stuff. But if I just put this from this perspective, I can still see that this is only a cube. I mean, it doesn't have, it's completely flat, you see. It's not showing me the stones. They are not really going out or anything like that, as they should. So that's when, sorry, I just duplicated this. Okay, that's when displacement maps come into place. So what we're going to do is just going to bring our displacement map, which is this one, disp, and just put it here. This one also needs to be connected to our mapping node, so it has the same coordinates and scale. And we also need like a bridge to connect it into this displacement. It goes this part. Okay, doesn't have the same color, so I have to transform it. I'm going to go to vector and I'm going to choose displacement, and then I'm going to plug it onto the height, and then this one to the displacement. And let's see what's going on. You see, kind of amplifies the effect of the details and all the holes and all the cracks on this texture, but still, if I see, this still looks flat. You see, I can raise this as much as I want, it's still gonna look flat. So the key here, now we are going to our second point now, and we're going to see the difference. Well, the first point, the differences and how to use it in Blender. We're just gonna go to our material, and it should be on displacement, but it's not. Don't ask me why. It's on settings, and on settings you have a surface option, and then there's another displacement there. So make sure you put it on displacement only. Okay, we don't want the bump, just displacement only. And let's see what happened. Still nothing, you see. Now we can see it's kind of like making it just smaller, but I can raise this up. This mid-level, that's what the mid-level does. It's gonna raise it up or shrink it. If I leave it on 0, it's gonna be more like equal, but now the scale is acting, so this is just like inflating it, but it's not really doing what I want. Let's leave it on 1 and the mid-level on 0. It's because the displacement maps, what they do is that they need actual polygons to work. They are actually going to displace this geometry in the form or in the shape of the texture, but in this case we don't really have much polygons, you know. We only have like a few. It's like a low poly cube, so we're just gonna subdivide this. Okay, I'm gonna edit mode, right click and just subdivide it with, and shift R, just gonna repeat the last command. Let's just raise it up. Don't raise it up until your computer collapses. And now if I render this, you're gonna see a big difference. Now the displacement is working. Of course, it's way too exaggerated, but definitely looks cool. I'm just gonna bring the scale down, that in 1, maybe maybe 0.2. Let me see. And now now you can see this is not flat anymore. You see it's changing finally the shape of our cube, you know. It's not faking it. The normal map is just gonna fake all the detail, but this one is actually displacing the geometry. That's why we need to subdivide it. If you want it to be more exact or not so like crisp on these parts, you can add like a subdivision surface. Hope it doesn't collapse my computer. It's just, and you see that's gonna smooth it out a little bit more. You can put more like at 2 levels. I'm not gonna risk it because I'm also recording the screen. So, but yeah, this is good. That's what I was talking about. Like that's the big difference between normal maps and displacement map. The normal map is just gonna fake the details and the ups and downs of the texture, but this one is actually going to make it more realistic. Okay, so let's go. Oh, sorry, Blender just got weird. Just gonna delete that. Go to my object mode. Okay, I'm just gonna give you another example on this. And I'm just gonna erase this cube. Now let's put a plane to show you some more creative ways of using it. And then let's just add a new material. Just gonna put it like I don't know, displacement sample or something. And we're gonna work with just some procedural textures. And what I mean by procedural is textures that have been created only in Blender. It's not a bitmap or based on pixels, just based on vectors or calculations. So let's go to texture and let's try with our noise texture. Let's just plug it, sorry, the color. And as you can see, this one has color. I can control T to also work a little bit with the scale. We make it smaller. You can also work from here. And this one, just we're using it to just see what's doing, okay? But we actually want to plug this into the displacement. So I'm just gonna go to vector again, displacement. Let's put the factor because the factor doesn't have colors, so in this case better. I'm gonna put it on the height, and again nothing is happening. I'm gonna activate my displacement only. Nothing happens because we don't have enough polygons. So just gonna subdivide this a bunch of times. And if I connect, oh sorry, it wasn't connected, but still wasn't gonna do anything. Yeah, check this out. So I'm just gonna bring the mid level to 0 and just scale move it up. And there you can see is displacing these things based on the on this image. I can also add a subdivision surface, put it on 2. It's gonna take some resources out of the computer, but maybe bring in some more detail. That's gonna help. Okay, but the key here, okay, this is just bringing like some noise. We cannot really control the amount of noise, and we cannot really put it in different places. But I mean, it really looks cool, you know. Work some mountains, some environments with this. But the key is going to be to use color ramps. So I'm just going to go to converter, color ramp. I'm just going to plug my color ramp here. And as this is based in black and white values, I'm just going to start cranking these ones. And you're going to see what's going to happen. With this, I'm going to be able to control the shape of the displacement. You see now it's not like peaks. Now it looks different, and maybe just make it here. Now I'm gonna try to control the amount. You see now they are just popping out in some places, and I can control the quantity of these little things. And if I want to also control the shape, I can just choose between all these interpolations. So you got a ease, you see it's gonna be different. This is cool, constant. It's just gonna make it really flat on the top. And yeah, you can just keep playing with these and find very cool shapes. The constant is gonna be always like that, but now let's just put it on. Let's see, maybe this line. See what's up. Yeah. See, I can control the amount and I can control also the height of these displacements. And now I can start just mixing them with different ones. I mean, I can create a totally different one with Shift D. Let me just make this one ease. And let's just play with it a little more. Yeah, like that. You know, if you want to add different ones, let's say you just want the smaller ones, you can work these ones. They were more like, I don't know, mountains. Just make them. And if you want to add more detail to like the ground, you can work on a different texture and then just mix it with this one. Okay. And I'm gonna try with a different one. Just factor and then let's put this one. Okay. Onto the displacement. Put it onto the height. And let's make this different. There's detail. And let's just make it more like that. Maybe, yeah, that looks better. Let's bring the scale. You see this one looks more like some mountains. If you just put a camera in here, you can start creating some very nice landscapes. And if you mix it with the other one, you can start creating the mix between both. So I can just add like a color mix, more space in here, and just see. I can do some more interesting things with these ones. Cardinal. Make like different shaped mountains with this one. Even though this is not like a environment tutorial, but well, let's put it on constant so I have those flat-headed mountains. Let me see. No. Alright, I don't want to take much more time on this. I think you get the idea. You can just need to keep playing with these settings here. And if you mix between this one and this one, you'll get a totally different result. To the height, and also you can start playing with the blend modes. I mean, let's put this on overlay. and you'll get different results. You see now it has the peaks and also the small mountains on the ground. Yeah, you just keep playing with this. Let's put like subtract. Let's see what you can make holes. You can make different weird shapes. You know, it's quite fun. So I really encourage you to keep playing with this. There's not a specific tutorial making mountains, but hey, if you leave some of that in the comments, I'll make the tutorial on making mountains. But yeah, I hope this was useful to you. I hope you've learned how to use displacement maps in Blender, and I'll be posting more tutorials sooner. I hope if you want something, just put it on the comments, okay? On a specific theme that you want. And I got some questions about this theme I'm using. So it's called Sapphire. Just Google it, Sapphire theme for Blender. It's pretty nice. You can just download it. So okay guys, see you on the next tutorial. Cheers.